When the morning rises, it offers you something sacred, a doorway, a silent passage between who you were and who you could be. And before you step into the chaos of the day, you must first step inward. What you say to yourself in these early moments is not just sound, it is direction. It is instruction to the mind and command to the body. It is like placing your hands on the wheel of your own existence. If you do not take control of it, something else will. So every morning before the world interferes, speak to yourself, not with arrogance, not with doubt, but with truth. Tell yourself that you are here for a reason, that no breath you take is wasted, that the path beneath your feet belongs to you and you alone. The quality of your thoughts shapes the quality of your life. This truth is both simple and profound. It is the silent force guiding every decision, every reaction, every emotion you experience. The inner dialogue that runs through your mind, what you believe about yourself, others, and the world, creates the lens through which you interpret reality. If your thoughts are clear, balanced, and rooted in awareness, then your life takes on the same qualities. If your thoughts are chaotic, negative, or distorted, the world you experience becomes a mirror of that disorder. Every human being lives not in the world as it is, but in the world as they perceive it to be. Two people can go through the same situation and walk away with completely different feelings, outcomes, and understandings. The difference is not the event, but the mindset they bring to the event. A thought can be a seed of courage or a root of fear. A single thought can uplift your spirit or spiral you into despair. So when we speak of improving our lives, we must begin with improving our thinking. Thoughts are not harmless. They are energetic, they are shaping, and they are powerful. When you constantly think of what could go wrong, your body begins to prepare for it, your mind tightens, and your actions become cautious and limited. When you constantly believe that you are not enough, you sabotage your potential, not because you refuse to see it. Thoughts shape your emotions, and emotions shape your behavior. Behavior over time becomes your life pattern. It is easy to underestimate how quickly thoughts multiply. A single negative thought rarely stays alone. It invites others. You tell yourself, I'm not good at this. And before long, you begin to say, I'm not good enough. You doubt your ability in one area, and that doubt spreads to others. Slowly, like a fog, unexamined thoughts cover your entire self-image. This is why awareness is so important. You must pay attention to the thoughts you allow, because they are not visitors, they are builders. They build the foundation on which you stand. But thought in itself is not the enemy. The mind is not your enemy. It is a tool. Like fire, it can warm or burn. Like water, it can cleanse or drown. What matters is whether you are the master of your thoughts or if they are the master of you. Most people are ruled by thoughts they never chose. Thoughts inherited from others, from pain, from fear, from the past. They become prisoners of mental patterns that no longer serve. But freedom begins when you recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. And if you can observe them, you can change them. Changing your thoughts does not mean pretending everything is positive or perfect. It means choosing thoughts that are aligned with truth, with clarity, with purpose. It means choosing thoughts that guide you forward, not hold you back. When life challenges you, your thoughts should not add weight, they should add strength. When uncertainty arises, your thoughts should not deepen your fear, they should ground you in trust. To shift the quality of your thoughts, you must first become quiet enough to hear them. Silence is not emptiness. It is the space where truth rises. In silence, you begin to notice the stories you repeat to yourself. You begin to see which thoughts are rooted in truth and which are rooted in habit or fear. With practice, you learn to release the thoughts that cause unnecessary suffering and replace them with those that bring clarity and resilience. The quality of thoughts influences your relationships as well. When you think with compassion, you speak with kindness. When you think with gratitude, you approach others with appreciation. When your inner world is peaceful, it radiates outward. People sense it, they respond to it. Your relationships become less reactive, more intentional. You stop projecting your fears onto others and begin to engage from a place of calm understanding. Even your goals and achievements are shaped by your thinking. No dream can exist without the thought that it is possible. No progress can happen without the belief that effort matters. When your thoughts support growth, setbacks become lessons. When your thoughts support self-worth, failure does not destroy you, it refines you. Success, then, is not something you chase. It becomes a natural extension of the clarity and discipline you've cultivated in your mind. To live well is to think well. It does not mean you never feel doubt, anger, or sadness. It means you do not let those feelings define your path. You recognize them, understand them, and choose how to respond. That choice is your power. That is where your life begins to shift. Each day, you are shaping your reality from the inside out. You are not merely reacting to the world, you are creating it, moment by moment, through the quality of your thoughts. The mind is the beginning of everything. Master it, and the rest will follow. Nurture it, and life will respond in kind. Because in the end, it is not the outer world that determines the depth of your life. It is the thoughts you choose to believe, the ones you repeat, the ones you turn into action. Shape those wisely, and you shape a life of meaning. Morning is the gate to your inner temple. Enter with clarity. This sentence is not simply poetic. It carries a profound instruction for living a more conscious, purposeful life. The way you begin your day is not just a routine. It is a sacred initiation. Each morning offers you a rare opportunity, a pause between the world of sleep and the world of action. It is a space where your inner world can be shaped with intention before the noise of the outside takes over. Like a temple, your mind is a sacred place, and how you enter it sets the tone for everything that follows. In the early hours, the mind is still soft. The thoughts have not yet hardened into habitual loops. The body has not yet been pulled in different directions. The emotions have not yet been stirred by conflict, obligation, or distraction. This is the moment to return to yourself, not as a personality performing roles, but as pure awareness, still whole and undisturbed. If you rush into the day without this return, you carry yesterday's weight into today's potential. You become a repetition of what has already been, rather than a conscious participant in what is becoming. To enter your inner temple means to become still enough to hear yourself again. Not the voice of doubt or ambition, but the voice beneath all voices, the one that knows without needing to prove. Radiate. This clarity is not loud. It does not shout. It does not demand attention, but it is always there, waiting in the silence of the morning. The question is whether you are willing to listen. Many people wake up and immediately turn out. They check messages, scroll through screens, or plan a day full of movement. They forget that the most important alignment is not with the calendar, but with the self. Before you face the world, you must first face yourself. What is your intention for this day? What energy will you carry into your work, your interactions, your challenges? Without clarity, you are easily swept into the current of urgency. With clarity, you become the calm at the center of the storm. The temple is not a physical place. It is the sanctuary within. It is your mind when it is clean of clutter. It is your breath when it is deep and steady. It is your heart when it beats in rhythm with truth. The morning offers access to this temple in a way no other time can. The stillness of the early light, the quiet before the demands begin, these are not accidents. They are invitations. Each morning, the world whispers, begin again. Begin from center. Begin from peace. Clarity does not mean having all the answers. It means knowing what matters. It means beginning the day with presence, not pressure. It is a conscious choice to meet life from a place of grounded awareness. This awareness does not remove challenge, but it transforms your relationship to it. When your mind is clear, you respond instead of react. You see possibilities where others see problems. You act with purpose rather than panic. Entering your inner temple is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Just as the body needs food and water, the spirit needs silence and reflection. When you deny this space, you begin to feel scattered, restless, and disconnected. You search for peace in achievement, in distraction, in external validation. But none of these can replace the clarity that only inner alignment brings. Peace is not found in doing more. It is found in doing less, but doing it with full awareness. The quality of your morning determines the direction of your day. If you enter it with tension, the tension follows you. If you enter it with confusion, the confusion clouds your decisions. But if you enter it with clarity, everything changes. Your mind is sharper, your emotions are steadier, your actions are more intentional. You become less influenced by noise and more guided by your own inner compass. Clarity is cultivated through practice. It does not arrive by accident. You must create space for it. This might be 5 minutes of stillness, a few conscious breaths, a journal entry, a quiet walk, or simply sitting in silence. What matters is not the form, but the sincerity. What matters is that you enter the day as a participant, not a prisoner. You do not have to control the entire day, but you can choose how you begin it. That choice, repeated day after day, becomes a way of living. Morning is not just a time, it is a threshold. It is the opening of a door to your most essential self. Each time you pass through this gate with awareness, you strengthen your connection to that self. And from that connection, everything else flows. Focus, discipline, compassion, resilience, purpose. These are not traits given to a few. They are cultivated by those who choose to begin their days with clarity. So the next time you rise, pause, breathe, listen. Do not rush to become someone before you remember who you already are. Honor the gate, honor the temple, and enter with clarity. Because how you enter the morning is how you enter your life. Words have power. Use them to build, not to break. This truth is timeless, yet so often forgotten in the rush of daily speech. Words are not just sounds or marks on a page. They are carriers of energy, intention, and influence. What you say to others and to yourself shapes the emotional and mental landscape around you. Each word spoken is a seed planted. What you choose to sow will eventually grow. If your words are careless or harsh, they can wound in ways deeper than the eye can see. If they are mindful and compassionate, they can uplift, encourage, and even heal. Every conversation is a meeting of energies, and in every interaction, you hold a choice. Will your words bring clarity, connection, growth, or will they bring confusion, division, and harm? Most people do not recognize the weight their words carry. They speak from emotion, from reaction, from impulse. But once spoken, words cannot be taken back. They leave impressions. Some dissolve quickly, others stay for years, even a lifetime. Consider the words spoken to a child. A few moments of kindness can shape their sense of worth for decades. A few careless criticisms can echo into their adulthood, limiting their confidence or distorting their self-image. The same is true for adults. A friend, a partner, a colleague, each one is shaped, in part, by how we speak to them. Your words can be a safe place for someone to grow, or they can be a source of pain that makes them close off. This is not an exaggeration. It is the subtle power of speech. And it is not just about how we speak to others. It is also about how we speak to ourselves. The inner dialogue you carry throughout the day has a direct impact on your mood, your choices, your sense of possibility. If your self-talk is filled with judgment, doubt, or harshness, you begin to shrink inside. You begin to move through life guarded, afraid to fail, afraid to try. But if your words to yourself are grounded in compassion and encouragement, you begin to walk taller, try more, and live with greater trust. Many people live their entire lives trapped in prisons built by their own words. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. These statements, repeated again and again, form mental barriers that seem real, but they are illusions. They are stories reinforced by repetition. And just as words can build these walls, words can also tear them down. You can choose new language. I'm learning. I will find a way. This moment is not the end of the story. With conscious repetition, even broken patterns can be rewritten. The words you choose become the architecture of your reality. This is why in ancient traditions, speech was considered sacred. Mantras, prayers, affirmations, all are forms of speech used not to impress the world, but to shape the inner one. Silence was honored because it reminded us that not all words are necessary, and that those which are should be spoken with care. In a world full of noise, meaningful speech becomes rare and powerful. The modern world encourages fast communication. We type quickly, we respond impulsively, we post without thinking. But true strength lies in mindful speech. To pause before speaking is not weakness, it is wisdom. It means you are choosing to respond rather than react. It means you value the space between stimulus and action. That space is where growth happens. To use words to build is to become a conscious creator. It is to speak in ways that lift people up even when you offer correction. It is to give feedback that strengthens rather than shames. It is to apologize when you are wrong and to forgive when someone else falters. It is to speak truth but with humility. It is to inspire without exaggeration, to support without enabling, to praise without manipulation. This does not mean you must always speak softly or avoid uncomfortable truths. Building with words does not mean avoiding confrontation. It means entering it with care. It means that even in conflict, your intention is healing, not harm. It means you disagree without dehumanizing. You express anger without destroying. You assert boundaries without becoming cruel. Words are tools. Like any tool, they can be used to construct or to damage. A single sentence can change a life, offer a new perspective, bring hope where there was none. And sometimes the most powerful words are the simplest ones. Why see you? You matter. Or thank you. I believe in you. These phrases, when spoken sincerely, can do more than inspire. They can transform. In your daily life, begin to observe your speech, not to judge but to become aware. Are your words lifting or lowering the energy around you? Are you contributing to clarity or to confusion? Are you using your voice to bring light or to spread shadows? The answer lies in your intention. And intention, when combined with awareness, becomes power. So speak as though your words matter, because they do. Speak to build not only the world around you, but the inner world that carries you forward. Your voice is a gift. Use it to elevate. Use it to connect. Use it to heal. In the end, your words become your legacy. Not only in what they accomplished, but in how they made others feel. Let that legacy be one of strength, compassion, and conscious creation. Repetition creates reality. Speak what you wish to be. This statement is not a cliché or a motivational slogan. It is a principle deeply woven into the structure of the human mind. The thoughts you repeat, the words you affirm, the phrases you constantly feed yourself, these become the blueprint for your perception, your behavior, and ultimately, your life. The mind is shaped by patterns, and repetition is the force that carves those patterns into permanence. What you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you act. Therefore, the words you speak again and again are not harmless echoes. They are commands, quietly building the architecture of your inner and outer world. The human brain is always listening. It does not question whether a thought is helpful or harmful. It simply receives, processes, and begins to adapt accordingly. If you continually tell yourself, I can't, your body starts to behave as if it's true. Your energy drops. Your courage weakens. Your decisions become smaller. On the other hand, if you begin each day by saying, I am capable, I'm learning, I'm growing, your brain aligns itself with that reality. Over time, these words are no longer just affirmations. They are a way of being. Repetition is how habits form. It is how rituals become natural. In the same way that practicing a skill strengthens neural pathways, practicing a belief through repeated speech strengthens mental patterns. At first, it might feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable to speak powerful, positive words, but comfort is not the goal. Transformation is. You are not reinforcing what you already are. You are becoming what you are capable of being. That path begins not with some dramatic event, but with the quiet decision to repeat a truth until it becomes a part of you. The world around you may not immediately reflect what you are saying to yourself. That is why many people give up. They speak one affirmation, one dream, one new self-image, and when nothing changes overnight, they retreat. But change does not happen with a single word. It happens with 1,000. Repetition is not about force, it is about persistence. It is not about shouting into the wind once. It is about whispering into your own mind until the wind changes direction. Everything that exists began as a thought, repeated enough times to become action, and reinforced enough times to become reality. A career begins with a vision. A relationship begins with a conversation. A transformation begins with a phrase spoken with intention. When you speak what you wish to become, you are not pretending, you are aligning, you are creating resonance between who you are and who you are stepping into. This is not magic, it is psychology. It is psychology. It is how the mind learns. When a musician learns a new instrument, they do not play a piece perfectly on the first try. They repeat again and again until the movement becomes fluid, until the brain and the fingers are no longer separate. So too with identity. You must speak it, claim it, live it, even before it feels entirely true. And the more you do, the more it becomes natural. You cannot become what you consistently speak against. If your words are filled with doubt, limitation, and criticism, that becomes your operating system. You begin to act according to the story you've told yourself. But if you begin to speak the words that align with your higher self, words of resilience, purpose, clarity, and worth, you begin to act different. You make choices that reflect that inner truth. Your actions shift, your habits change, and soon your life begins to mirror the new language you've chosen. This does not mean ignoring pain or denying struggle. Speaking what you wish to become is not about escaping reality. It is about redefining your relationship with it. You can acknowledge difficulty while still affirming your strength. You can speak of healing while still carrying wounds. The words do not erase the journey, they guide it. It is also important to speak with feeling. Words without emotion are empty, but words spoken with belief, even if that belief is small at first, carry power. Say it like you mean it, and eventually you will. Feel the energy behind the words. Let them move through your body, not just your lips. Let them become part of your rhythm, part of your breath. Every day is an opportunity to reinforce the self you are becoming. Start small. A single phrase in the morning. A gentle reminder in moments of stress. A sentence whispered before sleep. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. You are training your mind to serve your highest direction rather than your lowest fear. Eventually, the repetition takes root. You no longer have to remind yourself. You simply know. You no longer doubt your strength, you walk in it. What once felt like a distant possibility becomes your normal state of being. And it all began with a few repeated words, spoken with intention, spoken with hope. So speak what you wish to become. Not once, not just when it's easy, but every day, especially when doubt tries to return. Speak until your voice becomes your compass. Speak until your thoughts match your vision. Speak until the world you see is a reflection of the truth you've been repeating all along. Because repetition creates reality, and your voice is the beginning of it all. Your inner conversation is your lifelong companion. It is the voice that never leaves you, the whisper behind every decision, the constant interpreter of your experience. Long after the noise of the world has faded, long after others have come and gone, what remains is the dialogue you hold with yourself. This inner voice guides you, questions you, challenges you, comforts you. It is your closest relationship, whether you are aware of it or not. And just like any relationship, the quality of this one determines the quality of your life. From the moment you wake until the moment you sleep, and even in your dreams, your mind is speaking. It comments on how you feel, what you see, what others say, and how you measure up. It reminds you of the past, predicts the future, and narrates the present. Sometimes it is kind, other times critical. Sometimes it uplifts you, and other times it seems to sabotage you. But the truth is, this voice isn't fixed. It's learned, shaped by your environment, your upbringing, your experiences, and most importantly, by your awareness. The more conscious you become of your inner conversation, the more power you have to direct. Many people move through life without ever truly listening to the way they speak to themselves. They allow old patterns of doubt, fear, and judgment to play on repeat. Thoughts like I'm not good enough, I always fail, or people won't understand me become internal scripts, running quietly in the background, influencing choices, emotions, and even relationships. These thoughts may feel familiar, but that does not make them true. Familiarity is not the same as truth. Often, the inner voice you carry isn't even yours. It's an echo of someone else's fear or criticism that you've mistakenly adopted. But once you realize this, you have the ability to rewrite the script. You can become the author of your inner dialogue instead of its passive receiver. You can train your mind to become a supportive guide rather than a relentless critic. This doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, observation, and repetition. But it begins with awareness. The decision to notice what you say to yourself, especially in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Ask yourself, how do you speak to yourself when you make a mistake? Is it with understanding or with shame? When you're tired, do you offer compassion or push through with harshness? When you look in the mirror, do you see potential or judgment? Your answers to these questions reveal the nature of your inner companion. And the good news is that you can change that nature. You are not locked into a voice of fear or negativity. You can cultivate a new one that sees your growth, one that forgives your missteps, one that believes in your possibility. This doesn't mean living in denial or pretending everything is perfect. It means speaking to yourself the way you would to someone you deeply care for. It means recognizing your own humanity without diminishing your worth. It means becoming a source of safety within yourself, so that even in difficult moments, you don't turn against yourself. You stand beside yourself. The inner conversation is not just mental, it's emotional and physical. The way you speak to yourself affects your nervous system, your energy levels, your body language. Harsh inner talk creates tension, fatigue, and anxiety. Encouraging inner talk creates calm, motivation, and clarity. What you tell yourself determines how you carry yourself. The words may be invisible, but their effects are not. They shape your actions, your posture, your decisions. When you change the tone of your inner voice, you change the lens through which you view life. Challenges become opportunities. Setbacks become lessons. Loneliness becomes a call for deeper connection, not just with others, but with yourself. And success becomes more meaningful, not because it proves your worth, but because it reflects the journey you've walked with your own inner support. You cannot always control the world outside. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Circumstances will shift. But your inner conversation is yours. You are with yourself in every moment. So it is worth asking, is this voice helping me grow? Is it giving me strength? Is it guiding me toward peace or away from it? Start small. Notice the words you use when you face a challenge. Catch the automatic judgments and replace them with understanding. When you feel overwhelmed, tell yourself, I'm doing the best I can. When you feel afraid, remind yourself, it's okay to feel this. I'm still safe. When you succeed, don't downplay it. Acknowledge it. Celebrate it. Speak kindly, consistently. That is how trust is built. Yes, even with yourself. Over time, your inner voice becomes your inner strength. So, you don't need external validation to feel whole. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions to feel peace. You become your own refuge, your own motivator, your own healer. And in doing so, you begin to walk through the world differently, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. Not needing to prove yourself, but simply living in alignment with who you are becoming. Your inner conversation is your lifelong companion. You cannot escape it, but you can shape it. Make it a voice worth listening to. Make it your friend, your guide, your foundation. Because in the end, the most important words you will ever hear are the ones you say to yourself. Let them be words that build, that believe, and that bring you home. Each morning is a rebirth, a new chance to align with your higher self. No matter what came before, no matter the failures, doubts, or darkness of yesterday, morning arrives as a silent invitation. It does not ask about your past. It simply offers presence. The rising sun doesn't judge what happened the day before. It just rises. It brings with it a fresh breath, a clean slate, a quiet opportunity to begin again. In this way, each new day is sacred, not because of what it promises on the outside, but because of what it awakens on the inside. To see the morning in this way is to live deliberately. It is to understand that your life is not bound to yesterday's momentum. Your thoughts, your habits, your choices, none are fixed. You are not a machine running on repetition. You are a conscious being with the power to shift your direction at any time. And the morning, with its stillness and simplicity, is one of the most powerful moments to do so. Before the noise, before the demands, before the distractions, this is your window. A moment of clarity before the world starts asking you to be everything to everyone. Aligning with your higher self is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering who you already are beneath the layers of fear, comparison, and ego. It's the self that moves with wisdom, not impulse. The self that listens more than it reacts. The self that sees connection, not division. Every morning gives you a moment to choose this path. A chance to turn away from unconscious living and return to intentional being. But this return doesn't happen automatically. Most people wake up and fall immediately into the loop of yesterday. Same thoughts, same worries, same patterns. Without presence, the past quietly seeps into the present and calls it reality. The mind recycles its stories. The body carries its stress. The emotions carry yesterday's residue. And so, the day is lived not as something new, but as a continuation of old energies. But you are not your old energies. You are the one who notices them. And when you wake up, when you open your eyes, you are standing at a threshold. What you do in those first moments, what you tell yourself, what you feel, how you breathe, sets the tone. You can either rush into the day carrying yesterday's burdens, or you can pause. You can breathe. You can remember. This is a new beginning. You don't need perfection to start again. You don't need a plan for your whole life. You just need honesty and willingness to ask yourself, what do I want to embody today? Not what do I want to do or achieve or fix, but what kind of presence do I want to bring into this world? Do I want to live with more patience, more compassion, more courage? That answer is not found in the future. It is found in how you begin. So take a moment each morning before the world gets loud. Let silence meet you like an old friend. Breathe deeply. Feel your own aliveness. You don't need to solve everything. You don't need to know what comes next. You just need to choose alignment. Choose clarity over chaos. Presence over performance, being over doing. And from that place, action will follow. But it will be action rooted in truth, not pressure. This is what it means to align with your higher self. It is not floating above the world in some perfect spiritual state. It is meeting the world fully, but from within your center. It is not escaping your humanity, but expressing the deepest, most conscious version of it. Your higher self isn't separate from you. It's the part of you that remembers your depth, your resilience, your wisdom. And every morning, you have a chance to listen to it, to follow it, to embody it, even in small ways. The mind will try to pull you back into its stories. It will remind you of who you were yesterday. It will tempt you with self-doubt, judgment, and anxiety. That's okay. That's just the conditioning of a busy world. You don't have to believe everything your mind says. You are not obligated to carry every thought to its destination. You can simply return to your breath. You can return to the moment. You can remind yourself, this is a new day. I am not yesterday's version of myself. I am here. I am awake. And I choose how I move forward. Even if nothing on the outside has changed, the inner shift is everything. Because when you change your internal state, your perception of the world changes. You respond differently. You see more clearly. You move with a grounded strength that does not need to prove itself. You become the calm in the storm, the stillness in the motion, the clarity in the noise. So do not underestimate the morning. Do not rush past it. There is something sacred in that moment of waking, a quiet doorway into your truth. Enter it with reverence. Listen. Breathe. Speak to yourself not with pressure, but with love. Not with expectation, but with curiosity. Because each morning is not just a part of your routine. It is a rebirth. A gentle, powerful reminder that no matter what came before, you can begin again and again and again. Until your whole life becomes a reflection of that higher alignment.